Welcome back to Far West Texas and Lake Amistad with your host, 3-time FLW Angler of the Year, Clark Wendlandt.
We're sitting there, we've had a great day, we've caught a ton of fish, but you're thinking, well, I'd really like to catch a big one. I wonder where a big one's gonna be. And I'm in a drain and I jerked my bait a couple times and bam, I mean, all of a sudden I got one. And my comment is, big one. I got a big one. And I didn't think it was a bass. Come on, be big. I don't see any way this is a bass. The reason I didn't think it was a bass, it was just pulling too hard and it didn't come up at all. I think it might be a bass. Yep, big one. And basically, you can see me fighting it. It's basically bulldogging me down in the grass and getting hung up in the grass. And so I'm pulling as hard as I can because I don't want it to get balled up in the grass. If it ever gets balled up in the grass with a crankbait, I'm afraid I gotta pull too hard to get it out. So I'm basically holding it, trying to keep it from getting in that grass. And I mean, I couldn't really do much with it. And I pulled him out of that grass a couple of different times. Oh, come on. I got him hooked pretty good. That's the one you want. Woo! Look at that one. Now that fish stopped it. I want to show you that guy up there. He stopped it. It was like going along and I hopped it a couple times and then all of a sudden, boom! And I was thinking, there's no way that could be a bass. The size of that giant. That's awesome. Ooh. Basically, that fish was a giant. That fish, he's been around on that lake for a good while. There's not a ton of those, but there is some. When I've been looking at tournament weights over there, you know, there's a lot of 25-pound, 24-pound, 20-pound stringers. I think a lot of those have been coming. You know, a guy, they catch 3-pounders and then they add an 8-pounder to it. I mean, there are so many 2 to 3-pounders over there. You want to get some bites? Go to Lake Amistad. You can do it. Now that is a bass. We've been wondering where that big bite was, and the great thing about this lake is Amistad has got a ton of 2 to 3-pounders in it. We've proved that. I mean, we've caught one after another, after another, after another, after another, caught them cranking, but I knew there were some big weights coming out in tournaments, and that's what you gotta have. You gotta have one that's 7, 8, 9 pounds. That was over 7, no doubt about it. I mean, giant head, healthy fish. All I can think is, let's get another one. As far as the color goes, we threw several different colors. There's a few stick-ups out there and I lost a 6XD right off the bat, and so I changed to a different color. I was throwing natural shad, I ended up with sexy shad on there. That fish right there came on Strike King 5XD. He bent that treble out just a little bit right there, so I'll take some pliers and just bend that back and keep fishing. You know, and a lot of times when you're fishing grass like that and you're running baits into the grass and jerking them out, a lot of times the bite's gonna come when you free the grass off that bait. One thing you gotta have is a rod that's not too spongy. If you have a real spongy rod, you jerk it, that grass is just gonna come with you. You're not gonna be able to free it off there.